turn off this TV. Larry Bird is so lame.
Let's switch it to Meet the Press.
Oh no, dude, I have to watch Alf.
Come on, dude.
Okay.
The presidential election's coming up.
Dude, the economy's bad, dude.
Oh, that's not dope at all.
Don't have a cow. Change it on Meet the Press.
Hi there, my fellow Americans. I'm Mr. Roberts. Tonight on Meet the Press, on the conservative side, we have Cecilia Draycott. On the liberal side, Alfred Birmingham. You can't wait to hear what they have to say. The first topic of today is foreign policy. Mr. Carter has been judged for not dealing well with the Soviet impulses and his paralysis in dealing with the Afghanistan and Iran crises. How do either of your candidates plan to resolve these issues in the next 4 years?
We need peace, and the only way to achieve peace is through strength. America is strong now, and in my candidate's lifetime alone, there has been 4 wars, and in order to preserve peace, we must control events, which my candidate is more than capable of doing.
Well, the way that we feel among the Carter supporters is that the Carter administration has done a tremendous job in stopping terrorism and has made huge strides in doing that, and as well as making huge strides in preventing commercial flights from having terrorists on them and stopping the spread of nuclear weapons. And I think that this proves that Carter is prepared. I'm so glad to hear from both of you. Now, on to domestic issues. The decline of our cities has been hastened by the continual rise in crime. Strained race relations, the persistence of abnormal poverty and origination. What would you do to reverse this trend?
My candidate knows and supports states' rights. However, he knows that crime is abundant in our nation, and he knows that strict measures need to be taken in order to prevent our crime rates, even if that means ridding welfare and increasing military power to achieve peace and prosperity. These issues should not be an issue of the government and should not be dealt with by the government, but rather be dealt with by the states.
Well, truly, Carter supports the American dream, and he's shown that in his time in office. Currently, the issues of crime have been combated through revitalization and renewal. Carter has worked with local government officials, governors, mayors of hot spots of crime, and he's managed to fight crime at a local level by increasing works, public works, public transit, in order to create jobs, and he's supplied millions of jobs to Americans across the country, even those minority groups in the colored and Hispanic sections. Very interesting. In 1976, inflation stood at 4.8%. It now stands at more than 12%. Can inflation really be controlled? Well, allow me to give you this simple fact here. In the first quarter of this year, inflation was at 18%, and now in the third quarter, inflation is currently at 7%. So if you can't see the improvement there and the direct effects that Carter has had in his administration, then I don't know what to tell you. I would also like to let you know that George Bush himself has called Reagan's economic proposal voodoo economics, and that it would result in a 30% inflation. Carter, in his time in office, however, has managed to bring upwards of 9 million jobs to America. So in terms of economics, I think that we're on an upward slope here, and that with the continuation of Carter's strong hand over the government, we'll have a great time getting to a better place.
Reagan is firm in his belief that the money supply and only the money supply fundamentally determines the inflation rate. His plan is to cut taxes and to reduce business money regulation in order to provide more money to businesses, a little something we like to call Reaganomics.
Both of you have expressed desire to end the nuclear arms race with Russia, but by vastly different methods. Mr. Reagan has suggested that we scrap the SALT II treaty for one more favorable to us. President Carter has suggested that he will again try to convince a reluctant Congress to ratify the present treaty as the best we can hope to get. Both can't be right.
Reagan supports START, the Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty, because it radically reduces the number of weapons as opposed to the SALT II treaty that offers simple and skimpy limitations, which is why START is a much better option for our nation.
The Carter administration believes that SALT II in its current state is completely acceptable for the time being. We believe that nuclear arms definitely need to be reduced, and it is a huge looming issue over the country at current time. Our goal is to reduce nuclear arms in a way such that it will benefit both sides, because that is truly the point of reducing the nuclear arms.
Wow. Thank you for answering. Now my last question before we move on to something more interesting is what do your candidates intend to do about the insufficient buildup of our armed forces over the past year?
Carter believes that the solution to war is apparently to cut military spending, which seems a bit counterproductive. My candidate, however, wants to increase our military spending in order to keep the safety of our families and keep the U.S. a respected superpower.
Well, first off, I'd like to point out that even before Carter entered office, there had been a decrease in the military, 37% decrease, in fact. And currently, at our current levels of military strength, we have managed to maintain peace in the U.S. and even managed to forge really a peace treaty between Israel and Egypt. A current concern has been the Persian Gulf region, and we believe that the current military force that we have in the region has assured that our interests will be protected there, as they have been in the Middle East and other areas of the world, and as they will continue to be.
My God, that was intense. Thank you all for joining us tonight. I'd like to thank Cecilia Draycott and Alfred Birmingham for joining us. Have a good night, everybody.
Who are you gonna vote for?
Man, I don't know, but all I know right now is I'm making $3.15 an hour, and gas is like how much? It's ridiculous.
I think it's $1.19.
$1.19? That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Carter's
And you should
got
not have
us-
spent $7,000 on that new car. You did not need a Camaro.
Well, I got to put gas in it. Carter's got us all messed up from that energy crisis and oil thing in Iran and all that. We got to go for Reagan.
Things are going pretty badly.
Soviets and be very buddy-buddy with them. Maybe even make bran muffins.
Miss Draycott, you leave bran muffins out of this!
I'll bring bran muffins into this Afghanistan.
No.
Ronald Reagan.
Well, are we ready?
We're ready.
This is very unprofessional. I think that Mr. Reagan
Definitely filming this.
would be. Yes, Reaganomics.
And action.
Whoa.